Good morning and welcome back to B for TV, your daily dose of industry information. Today we're going to be talking about the 2025 BEFA standard trading conditions, and Robert joins us with some further updates. So firstly, good morning Robert, thanks for joining us.
That's fine. Thank you very much indeed, Natalie.
So we've recently communicated the latest version of the STC. Can you tell us a
Yes.
little bit more please?
Yes. Basically, we did issue them in September, and it's a process now to bring members up to date about the changes to make sure that they familiarise themselves with it. We have had some feedback. Luckily, it's all been positive so far. But that primarily has come from solicitors and insurance brokers. They feel that they're clearer in many areas and more understandable, and, particularly the old clause about time bars and that sort of thing, and limits of liability. So that has seen as a significant improvement.
That's good, that's great to hear. So can you tell us what the highlights are between the 2021 version and this new version we've just launched?
Yes, it's interesting because obviously, the legal and insurance policy group were very involved in writing it. So it's interesting to see how somebody who isn't part of that group has reacted. And solicitors have come back and they see it as a significant evolution of the 2021 edition and ones that preceded that. And these are really the highlights. There's a broader definition of the customer. Now, that is really because we've brought into scope services provided to people who you may not be charging, and that's particularly the ex-work shipper. I think the biggest change is this significant expansion of um, clauses to do with customs and customs activities. So that's really this one and that one, because that is important because it's giving the member, uh, first of all, they will not just be a direct customs um, agent. That was what 2021 said. So now it brings in the point where they can be a indirect customs agent if the customer doesn't fulfill the law of the 2018 Customs Act, which was passed to facilitate Brexit.
Sure.
This highlights the responsibilities of the client, proper tariff heading, valuation has got to be correct, licensing has got to be correct, statements that the goods and the parties that they're dealing with are not subject to sanctions and embargoes. So it's a considerable tidying up. And we've looked at time limits, and I haven't got time to go into all of those, but that it is very clear now what the time limits are. And the improved power of sale is useful if the member has the processes to tie up, if you like, the forwarding process and the accounting process to give them the right to sell the goods. And that's particularly where goods are stuck in a quayside somewhere.
Sure.
Okay.
So how do you think that our members can prepare for this transition from the 2021 version to 2025?
Okay. Well, this is some guidance on this, and it's pretty self-explanatory. The first thing is, and I did have an inquiry from somebody. It was actually on Wednesday of last week, and they were still using the 2005 A edition, which is a bit scary because we've had versions since then. So it is a bit scary. So make sure you do update to the 2025 as quickly as you can. And all of this is self-explanatory. I think the one thing I would suggest is communicate with your customers, obviously, that you're changing, and also these people have a liability and responsibility to make sure that they're giving you the right insurance premium and the right policy. And so it is important that you talk to your liability insurers. And I have said before that the transition should, if you like, from a logical viewpoint, um, coincide with when the freight forwarder liability policy comes into effect. So basically, when you're up for renewal. Okay.
Sure. So to support the transition, we are also hosting some webinars for our members as well, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
We've got one on the morning of the 14th of October, and we've got one on the afternoon of the 23rd of October. We are likely to allow time for people to consider what there is. Please, if you get any questions, contact us. I mean, from the feedback, certainly from insurers we've got, they're clear, they're content with them, and they don't see any problems. Actually, it's probably going to be the customer who doesn't like some of the terms. But it's all there because actually good terms actually help the customer
Yeah.
as much as it helps us. And that's a point I do think is overlooked.
Robert, thank you very much for your update this morning, and thank you for joining us.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, Natalie.
If you're interested in signing up for our forthcoming webinars, we'll pop a link to those in the description below. That's all for today's episode of B for TV, your daily dose of industry information.